Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Vegan Health and Fitness Podcast. I'm here today with my friend Paul Murphy, who is the creator of Sarasota Vegan Society. And he is going to tell us all about how he went about starting this vegan society, which has been very successful, let me add. One of the most fun organizations I've been lucky to be a part of. Yeah. We all get together and, it helps create community. So many good things about having a vegan society in your town. It helps you meet other people who are vegan. Maybe you need a vegan real estate agent or a vegan handyman.
Or a vegan lawyer.
A vegan lawyer. Not me. But anyway, it gives you an opportunity to, have that lovely community. So Paul is going to tell us a little bit about his background and how he started the Sarasota.
Of course, you want to plug your 5 key points or topics of it, right?
There might be 5 key.
Yes,
key things that you need to do. Okay.
Very simply, 5 simple things.
Excellent. So this is a how-to. So he's going to tell you how you too can start a vegan society in your town and help create community for your local vegans.
So before I say anything like the points, when you inquire into how do you create a vegan society, the first thing that occurs to me is that you don't have to. It's already there. Like when I want to go to California or to Chicago or somewhere, I look for the vegan community. It could be a group, but it could be a restaurant, a community-run restaurant. Like here in Sarasota, we have Fam Cuisine. It gets community building events every week. Or it could just be some place of that you hear, like, oh, I'm going to go to like the vegan epic, mega epicenter of the world, which is where, or England or Tel Aviv or Germany or something like that. So the vegan community already exists. So that's the number one thing.
The people are there.
Yes,
but how do we get them all to come together?
Except for in Indiana, where I was before, I created the group because I had no vegan community. There was no vegan businesses. There was barely even vegan options. I had to drive to Chicago to get things. And the community I went and was a part of was in Chicago. And I was the Indiana guy out. So that doesn't mean you can't do it, but rural areas are very difficult to create vegan community if you don't even know. It's like, when you go to the gym because you want to either work out or you want to go, see some bodies, or so it's sometimes they call it a meat market for a reason. So where do you go as a vegan if there's no vegan places? You don't go to the steak bar,
right.
Steak bar in the country.
You don't go to the meat market.
No.
You go to the vegetable market.
Yes, where are all the fruits and vegetables at? So when I did it in Indiana, I did it on social media. I created a meetup.com account, and I had 4 people. And I was like, wow. And then there's 30 people joining. I was like, where are you guys coming from? If you're not coming to our events, oh, we're all from Chicago. We just want to see what you're doing out there, so not to be dismayed. So the vegan community already exists. The thing is, what do you do next? What I did is you got to give it a name. So I looked at models like the Vegan Society of the UK that has been renowned since the origin of the word vegan in 1946 or something like that, 44.
Donald Watson.
Yeah, and that's the vegan community right there. So
Vegan Society.
Yes, and you go by their definition, and I thought, why not just mirror that? Because they don't have satellite locations around the world. They're just there, and then it's global. I said, well, I'm not doing a global, I'm doing a local thing here. And I decided to make it a community-based thing. So once I got to step 2, which was naming it and framing it, I thought Sarasota Vegan Society. I didn't want to call it the Vegan Society of Sarasota because it's not a branch of it. I didn't want to confuse it with the other one. Right. So I called it Sarasota Vegan.
Infringement.
And then Sarasota's first, because we're talking Sarasota is the host. Sarasota is the display name, and everybody knows Sarasota when they see it. So the second thing, naming and framing it, and then you got to get into the third part, and that's organizing. And what are you going to do? So I didn't want to do a nonprofit because I get headaches over thinking about taxes and waiting a month for the next meeting, and I'm like, I'm just going to do this myself and see what happens and see how far I get. Right. I'll do everything I know because that way I'm not going to be limited. Because you get a board together, you get people batting egos together. I'm like, I don't have to deal with any of that stuff.
Right.
So if you're doing this, you're the one coming up with the idea. You do it. You could talk about it with other people, but you got to do it yourself if you want to get it to a certain point. So now I've gotten far enough where I like where it's going and everything like that. But getting back to the point of organizing. So I created the name, and then how do you formalize it? And I did that through social media.
Because he didn't want to form a 501c3 nonprofit and make it a big formal thing. And so you don't have to. It can just be a social group using social media.
And it's not even an ad hoc, because that would be like a neighborhood association before it becomes a nonprofit. They still got a board, so you don't have to deal with any of the bureaucracy of the board either, because you just do it your own way. And everybody does anyway. Like, everybody's their author of their own book. You're not going to have somebody else write unless it's the autobiography, it's you writing it. So you get to create it how you want it to be. And how I wanted it to be was community building. And at some point, I want to let it go, because the community's already there. Then the businesses are going to start, growing, and there's going to be more and more and more and more. It just keeps going. So third, there's my notes, is the third thing. My vision is fourth would be after you get it named, you have to start doing events. So being proactive now. You got it named, you got your social media. In the 90s when I had no social media, so how would I have done it then? Well, it's all street level. I know you, hey,
it was flyers and posters and
email
stuff like
did
that.
exist. But yeah, we'd do flyers and phones. We didn't even have texting in my generation.
Right.
So you communicate everybody at a personal level, and that's how I still do it, because that way I meet them and I know who the owner is and the chef. But you start say, hey, you mind if I have like 5 people over here? Whether you're doing it person to person, if you don't like social media, well, it's gonna be a lot harder to grow a community that way. It's gonna be slower because the social media is more accessible, it's convenient, and it's fast. It's getting everything everywhere now. Versus snail mail, email's faster, blah, blah, blah.
So you definitely should utilize technology, social media, but also don't forget to utilize, like you said, the face-to-face relationships that you'll build with the businesses. Like if you're bringing a bunch of people to a restaurant, sometimes you'll have a group that wants things to be salt-free, oil-free, something like that. Or sometimes you'll go to a restaurant that just has a vegan menu that's not all vegan. And sometimes you can get them to expand that vegan menu if you tell them, we're going to bring 20 people over here to enjoy your vegan menu. So having that communication with that restaurant, now they know there's a group of vegans in this community that will come and patronize my restaurant if I provide stuff. And so you're facilitating that as the group leader. So again, really appreciate you doing that.
And this also goes, it's all personal. It happens on where you're at. So it'll be different everywhere. And another thing I like to add, though, is that you want to use everything. Because, like, I got an iPhone, but this person's got an Android. So if you're using social media, you want to have multiple formats. You don't want to be so exclusive with anything. You want to be like Bruce Lee, master a little bit of each thing as one instead of mastering any one. Because there's a lot of, like, the younger generation here in Sarasota, they like using Instagram, and I'm like, what do I do with that thing? So and another thing, because I'm doing a lot of it myself, all the social media things, I got to keep it simple. So I just take a couple pictures of some food, make a little mosaic, put in a post, here it is, just where it at.
Mostly on Facebook.
That's all I'm doing. And if somebody likes the thing or not, I don't know how to move social media to, I'm not trying to be a social media influencer.
Right.
It's like I'm just going out there and vegan fishing.
Something else I like about the way that you do things is that you allow other people to post things to the page, and you allow other people who are not you to create events in the community.
That took 5 years to get to that point. I wanted that from day one, but you know how wanting something always goes, or expecting something especially. I had a lot of expectations. I thought everybody's going to be grabbing it like me, like greedy little children at the candy store. I just had to let it all go because I was causing myself stress. And the first year, too, I was like having an event. I'm like expecting everybody should show up. I should have 20 people. I said, there I go, expecting again. So you can't have any of these expectations. You just got to do it. And then you think, did that work? What worked? What didn't work? Every time. You got to be very impartial to yourself and then with the event. And I didn't like how this one get. So you could create kind of a structure for yourself for events where you want to go. I did it by breaking the year up into seasons, and I'm going to do like all the raw vegan stuff in the summertime, and all the cold food stuff in the fall, winter, and spring, which is not that long into Sarasota. But there's very few.
It's December right now, by the way.
Yeah,
Here we are on the
70th
beach.
sunset. And and then you pick your spots, and then you have your events. The first few years I did 2 events a month minimum, and they were fixed. A restaurant is always the easiest thing to do one at. Mostly vegan, because we had a lot more of them. We lost 5 over the last few years.
Because of the pandemic.
Pandemic and now recession.
But Sarasota still has quite a lot of vegan restaurants. So if you're thinking about moving to Sarasota because you're looking for a great place where there's lots of vegan restaurants, come on down, come and join us.
Oh, and here it gets better, because past step 5 is where all the fun stuff really starts to happen. So what did I say was being proactive and having events. 5 is once you start building that, so you're building community by having events. And I started doing things that I wanted to do since I was in Chicago, and I worked, and other people had organizations and stuff that were vegan that didn't do things I wanted to have done. So I started doing screenings of movies and contacting filmmakers, getting permission. Now, I don't have any budget for this. This is all kind of done by donations from the community, and I haven't fundraised in a year and a half. Although I've gotten a couple $100s from people, just we know you're doing this, so I didn't really need the money, and since I had already prepaid for a reservation somewhere, but I only personally do, and this is not something everybody is going to do, is having only one potluck a year, because it's a lot to do one every month. However, potlucks, I've always told this to groups up north. They had restaurants. Oh, we don't get so many people. It says the potlucks is the bread and butter to building community, because everybody can make a dish at home, and they can make it their way and enjoy it and try other people's dishes. I don't do that, because the pandemic poo-pooed that the first 3 years. So we did have our annual potluck on Thanksgiving, though. We did follow CDC guidelines and all that kind of stuff. But I've kept it to that. It is a lot to have people's houses to go to. It's just a lot of calling. It was easier just to have restaurants to call, because I got so many things I'm doing now.
Right.
But yeah, you do get to a point where now it's 5 years later. I said, hey, you could create these events on this social media page for Facebook, and then I make an email list of all these events, and I send it on an email list. So I'm like probably the only one that collects emails for the vegans in the area. Plus, I have this interesting thing on the iPhone where I could create an event from events that other people are creating in the area. I don't really need their permission to do it, because it's a public event. And I'll add it to my phone in a vegan SRQ calendar that I made. And I also figured out how to link that to Google Calendar so that it goes there automatically, because I had to, it's frustrating.
I love that, because as a member of his organization, I don't have to keep going to social media and saying what's coming up, what are the events coming up, and scrolling around. I don't really like to spend a lot of time on social media. I'm busy. And so I just look at my own calendar on my phone, and I'll go, oh, there's an event tomorrow night. Hey. And
it shows up green on an iPhone.
That's really awesome. Circle.
But yeah, that's a very good way. But I have no way to track how many people are registered to that. It's a public thing that I have on. And okay, this is getting a little farther along. So after 5, yeah, once you start, building your community and having events, and step 5 is partnering. Now I gotten to a point, because I've formalized the name and put a name to it. You would never get called by any organization to do an event if you don't have a presence. But because I've been going to all these different environmentalist things as a volunteer, whatever I'm doing here, whatever I'm doing there. Oh, they know this vegan guy. Oh, and he's got this thing called the Sarasota Vegan Society. Oh, and there's a Facebook. Now this gets recognition. I get called by the Herald Tribune of Sarasota, or whatever it's called, Sarasota Herald Times or whatever. And they say, do this article. Yeah, do this, eat meat-free article for Labor Day. Or, PETA called me one time. Yeah, we need somebody to do some undercover work at the Sarasota Jungle Gardens, because we heard some comments about, animal cruelty.
Well, now you can't go undercover. You've blown your cover.
No, they still don't know. I'm anonymous.
Whoever's watching.
Oh,
this,
now I am because of
don't
this.
tell.
Oh man, I blew it. But yeah, then you start, and then you partner. So now I've been invited to all these environmental events, like the Big Green Living Expo here, and any other ones that are going on. You know, locally, they'll call me, or if I see them and they have to call me, I'll ask them if they want me to represent the plant-based portion of the event. So I'll do a plant-based for the environment. You know, it's a step down from, you know, holistic vegan as a ethical thing, you know, but it's still getting people softened up to eating plants. And then you keep doing this in small little bits and everywhere. And it's hard, you know, because I have to be non-judgmental. I can't be criticizing anybody or being mean, and it's been really,
It's hard to not be mean.
It pays off. And speaking of bee, we have a honeybee right
know.
here.
It's my friend.
Probably the one I saw on my motorcycle headlight earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, once you get to the partnering, then the fun stuff starts to happen, because then you got, you know, with donations that we get from putting a bucket out at all these public things. I just put a bucket. I never hawk anybody for money. I just put it there, and if I get any, I do. I got $0 on a 3-day event at the Green Living Expo. I'm like, oh my God, you think I'd get something?
And when you get money, what do you use it for?
Well, it does everything. Now we got an annual bill from Google Sites for the website, because I had to use, I had depleted we had about $600 in the group fund that I depleted paying someone to do the website.
Creating a website.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. But I thought this is going to be a worthy cause. I put in as much money myself over the last 5 years.
So what
I
you're
just don't
saying
add it up.
is you can start an organization just using social media. It's super easy to create a Facebook page, for instance, and you can link a Facebook page to an Instagram page. And then with time, as you have events and people give you donations, you can use that money to hire somebody to create a beautiful website. So don't make a cheesy, ugly website.
Yeah, you can get overwhelmed.
Get somebody who knows what they're doing and make
listening
it
to me.
look nice so that you can represent veganism proudly.
Yeah, you just do it simply. If you just don't want to do all this other stuff, I gotta tell you, once I got the website built, I spent 40 hours a week for a month working on that thing, and I got more hits on all the other social media pages that month and since because of the website, because people were checking it out. And all I did was I kept sharing it to our own social media. People click, and there's something about it. It gets hits now. It shows up as one of the first hits in Google in the area when you show it. But it's usually the Google business ad on the side first, and then you click on the website. But
so what about Meetup? Have you ever used Meetup?
I actually would prefer Meetup because it's actually made for community building.
Right. So when I started teaching yoga in the park, I started with Meetup just to let people know that it was happening, and I got a huge response from that. But it costs like $70, $80 or something like that a year for Meetup.
It was
so
$250 a
I
year
just
when
got
I
it
did it
to get started, and then as soon as people started coming to my classes, I immediately said, please join the Facebook group, because I'm going to be canceling this Meetup group soon if you want to see what's going on and continue to be part of this group. So that's something you can do. You can start off by investing $70, $80 into the Meetup group just to get things started, and then you can always cancel it so you don't have to continuously pay that much money every year, and then you can just use the free things like Facebook and Instagram. And then once you get a website built, it's built, and you're not going to have to make too many changes to it for a while. So there are ways to build these things, build on each other. So if you have the desire to get a vegan society started in your community, all you have to do is start with social media and then build one thing at a time till you get all these other...
It's systematic.
Yes.
Well, one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to think about going in this making money. I don't make a cent. I spend my own money, but I try to avoid that because in Chicago I had all my friends telling me, well, Paul, what do we do? We're coming out of our pocket all the time. I said, stop coming out of your pocket. I said, you got to figure out how to put coin slots. This thing. Oh, we don't want to make anybody pay for it. Well, you are, and you're complaining about it. So what are you going to do? So I always say, figure it out, you know. And I says, well, that's what I do. I never ask for, you know, money, but I also never bring my bucket to the restaurants because people are already spending money. Right. Plus they get a tip, and it's expensive here these days, especially in Sarasota. So I only bring that, and I forget it half the time. I put the bucket at what I used to do once a month besides a restaurant event was a vegan picnic in nature, which I started and got from nobody. The pandemic actually compelled me to do that because I was like, oh man, I just started this group January 2020. Now they're shutting us down. What am I going to do? we can't have potlucks. So I just thought about it. Instead of taking it and, submitting to it, I just decided to, well, what am I going to do now? And I thought, I still want to do this. Well, picnics are kind of great, not potlucks. Potlucks are fine if people want to do, but picnics are safer during the pandemic.
Is a picnic not the same as a potluck? Isn't everybody
Potlucks are potlucks where everybody brings something for others to share.
They're not doing that at the
You got to
picnic?
bring plates and bowls and cups and napkins, and sometimes you have a big group. You might have to get a permit. But a picnic, you bring your own brown bag.
So everybody eats their own food.
Yeah, and
Nobody
this is
shares
perfect
with anybody
in
else.
the pandemic because you don't have to worry about.
Okay,
It's
I
not
like that concept.
transmitted by organic matter, but still contact of things causes people to get sick, and I didn't want the liability because I could get sued by someone possibly.
Okay. Good
Should
thinking.
create an LLC. Maybe I have a lawyer that will help me with
You
that.
just got done with saying that you didn't want to have to do all that paperwork.
Well, I don't think anybody's going to sue me. I don't
No.
have a dime to give them for. We don't have any money in the bank. There's no bank account.
Yeah.
Fortunately, when I have gotten a check from people, I've had to add my name to it. But there's a legal way. If you say, the Sarasota Vegan Society, I say add or care of Paul Murphy because I'm like, that's what they do for nonprofits, for the treasurer.
Right. Because otherwise you have to create a bank account in the name of your organization in order
false
to take
name,
the money.
and that's pain in the. You gotta have a federal ID number.
A DBA. It's not really a false name. Doing business as.
Yeah.
Like
Another
a
thing too
LLC
is you can
or
use
something
your
like that.
phone camera on the.
Yeah, it gets to be
Chase
complicated. So yeah, you do want to have people find a way that people can just either give you cash or like Venmo to an account that's your name. You're the one that's the director of it. Everybody knows that you're organizing it, and they're trusting you that you're going to use the money for those purposes. So.
I did want to add that I'm not, like I said, I'm not making money for myself.
So
this
how
is not how I was creating that.
Yeah, I know you're not, but you're when people are donating money, you're saying that occasionally you have a donation bucket at a picnic or something like that. Do you have a donation button on your website? Like that's a
I
good way.
actually did create one. I think I used my personal one, but I was able to name it on the website, Sarasota Vegan Society. It's just when the transaction goes through, I think it goes through PayPal to me, and I don't even know if there's anything in it because I don't get notifications or email. I have to go and check. There was $17.50 in there, like from 3 years ago. I'm like, what's that doing in there? But I wanted to add something about the money. Like I said, you're not in it for the money. You get what you get, and then what you get. Actually, when I had the 2021, I had 12 newsletters, which is a lot of work, and I stopped doing it after a year because we didn't have enough submissions for content, and it was stressful because I had to make as many copies as I could make for 12 locations. Print them, fold them, stick them in the thing. It wasn't something I really needed to have somebody else help me do, but that money helped me pay for that because I put ads in that newsletter. I had 5 or 7 people, paying $10 a year or a month, or I don't remember how much it was.
You can also sell ads for your website. It's a little harder though to find people who want to advertise on a website. Like I don't know, maybe when it's a local organization. I know for Vegan Health and Fitness magazine, we've had our issues with advertisers, but I think there's something great about when you're doing something local that like you can go there in person to a local business and say, hey, this is what we're doing. Would you like to be a part of it? Would you like to advertise to reach other people in the local community who are like-minded? I don't know, like
I actually thought about that
restaurants
recently. Well, if you know the website for the Sarasota Vegan Society, there's a business page, and all the businesses are listed on there for free. Well, why would he do that? Why would he do something so stupid? He could be making money. No. It's not about money. It's about community. If I tried to get any of them, I want all of them on it, but I can't get all of them on because they wouldn't all pay. I said, but what if I put it on there for free? You're going to get free. The only thing I had to do was get what logo of choice would you want? And I'm just going to put your link to your website. You're on there.
Yeah.
You tell me what link, I'll embed it in the image and it'll be on there. It'll be free. It's not costing me. It took me an hour to do, each one of these little things I had to, create. But it's about getting the community exposed. Right. That's how you build community. You can't do it by hoarding. You can't do it by trying to make people do something, even though I want to make them all do what I want them to do. But it's free, so why would you complain? You're getting free on a global site. Yes. Everyone around the world coming to Sarasota will be able to see this, page, they'll Google that and they'll see this community. And I get people from all over the world texting me, emailing, texting me. I'm from wherever I'm coming from. But the other thing though too is about the cash is it comes in handy for making prints of things and copies. If you don't want to come out of pocket, you need donations to pay for things that you want. So after the website was gone, or the newsletter was gone, there was no more that fund, so that dwindled. But the money from that paid for that, and then once that was gone and no more ads, then it went away. So everything I get, okay, now what do I need money for? I got the reservation for next year. I need money for the website. Okay, I got $120 in the fund, and I put it on the website on the bottom. Community fund now, and it was in the minus before. I had paid $13.50 and made it zero again. And then somebody gave me 20, and then somebody else gave me 100, and I'm like, okay. So I got only the bill to pay for Google at the end of the year, or whatever that's going to be, and that's really great. And then you could do things after that. That's where it starts getting fun.
Well, I think there's a lot of vegans who donate money to various vegan organizations, charities, animal rights groups, things like that. And so I think that, letting people know who are part of the organization that you do need a little bit of money here and there to pay for things. You'll get somebody to give you $100 here and $100 there if you just let people know, because they're going to donate money to some charity anyway, and if they know exactly where this money is going, it's a local thing, it makes your charity very attractive to people.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I know, for me, definitely.
Sitting right over here, I'm pointing to the pavilion that we actually would go to every year. We didn't do it this year because of the hurricanes.
For Thanksgiving.
And the smell and the dust and everything. It was terrible here. But last year, a woman was here from 4, 5, 6 hours away, and walking by and saw I make a little yard sign. This is Sarasota Vegan Society with the logo and the event here. That came from group fund donations, right? And she goes, oh, so I just want to support. She gave me $20. I'm like, oh, thank you.
Aww.
Well, you have to be here to get some benefit out of it. Oh, I'd just like to give. And I says, okay. I can't turn down, stuff like that, because that's the universe, communicating to me, that's what I get. I get a little
green
emotional.
lights, keep going. You're doing the right thing. No, I think that's awesome.
Just like the little squirrels when they come and they want a peanut. I'm like, oh, this is like a human giving me a $20. Thank you for the peanut.
Aww.
I'm getting my peanut back.
Yes.
But it comes to good use. Like I did the first batch of money that I got from, I wasn't hawking it. Like I said, I just put it out there. But I do these vegan picnics in nature, because I do kayak tours with it. Vegan picnic in nature trail hike, vegan picnic in nature birding, vegan picnic in nature, and then that's why I put the bucket out, because I'm usually leading this. I know where to go. I'm going to do this site here. I'm going to have some stuff about the wild edibles and things like that. So, I mean, you could hire people to do it, but nobody in the community makes any money from the community except the businesses that are in business and have to pay bills. So anybody that works for the Sarasota Vegan Society, has to do it free, pro bono, like I do. Because if I'm not getting paid, you're not getting paid. And that's the fact.
Yeah.
So you get the what I was talking about, the money for something. Oh, so initially it was for, I bought the booth, tablecloth, whatever. I can't remember what I bought. The banner, 2 banners that are really cool, so that we have a presence in Veg Fest and stuff. And we've been in a few of them with the booth. And now we have that to use to be a presence anywhere. I like to get it in Tampa Veg Fest next year, but not the Sarasota, for maybe just handing out flyers from Peter or something, outreach. Also, the second batch of money that was for the website, and I would like to get into meetup.com next, because that's some expense, but I want to, I got the reservation for next year's pavilion for Thanksgiving already paid, and then the website got to get paid, so I'm not going to spend that money. I'm just being very mindful about what I'm going to do. And then the next thing I got to do is the meetup, because once I get the meetup going, that's 2 bills a year. Website, meetup.com. But meetup.com is better for events and organizers.
Yeah.
And it's faster because it goes right to your email.
It really
I think
does
it's free too.
It really does get
join.
people.
But you still got to pay for it because it's there. I do have event Eventbrite and something else. I can't remember what else I have on there. Eventbrite for events, and they have a little way that you can make things pay, but it's got to be consistent, or people won't know about it. And Facebook's terrible for that kind of thing.
And how much time do you think you spend on doing things for this organization, like a week or a month?
That's the thing. Whoever's spearheading this initiative in their community is the person doing all. You're the one taking on most of the work for all the stuff that I'm doing. But I know
it's not a full-time job, though.
No. I work 2 hours a day.
And you might find it enjoyable. Most of it is going to be doing stuff that
keeping up with housekeeping, emails. There's some notifications, answering questions.
Emails are probably the worst part.
Texts, sometimes a call. The most time I work now is when I'm trying to do an event and I'm calling up places. I'm thinking most of the time more than I'm doing anything. And I decided to take the rest of the month off instead of having a Christmas dinner. But I don't celebrate holidays, but I like to have them on days like that, because vegans that are single, what are they going to do on a day like that? So I try to be thoughtful about the events, where I'm going to have it, when.
It's good to have holiday events, but holiday gatherings for the vegans of your community.
But not just for one demographic of people.
Right.
The thing is, I'm raised Irish Catholic. So someone in another community would have to come up for Ramadan or Hanukkah. They would have to be, I'm not going to do them because I don't know that culture to do those things.
Yeah. But you could probably find somebody in your community who,
they would have to step up, or
you could ask them, or you can look on the calendar, or you can just have a general, you say, a picnic or something like that, or a potluck or something, and just say, we're going to do it on, say, December 27th, and it's for all faiths, or even people who, don't want to associate with a faith. It's just a quote-unquote holiday celebration for all, and try to, keep it.
There's a compromise. I think that's the C word I seem to remember now that I can never remember. Is that I don't celebrate holidays, but I'm going to have this vegan event on a holiday. No, I haven't celebrated holidays since 1994.
Wow.
Everybody thinks I do because I'm having events on those days.
I see.
Yeah. But I call every day as a vegan holiday to me.
Nice.
It just happens to be on the day. Well, these are days that people are off. There might be businesses open, so I thought that'd be a good
And like
day.
you said, people are looking for something to do on those days where they're socializing with other people who they feel love and warmth towards. So why not let it be your vegan family coming together?
The other thing is that because these are national holidays and stuff of other cultures that I was raised on, that I was never vegan. I went to families' holidays where I was the only vegan, and
we all have, I think.
I don't like to insult any of my family or anything like that, but it would be gross to me and disgusting to smell. I told my family, I said, I can't do that anymore.
That's how you got out of celebrating holidays.
Oh, no, that was 94. I became vegan only in 2002.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I had a different experience for the holidays.
Interesting.
I think it was partly rebellious. Just like being vegan is. Rebel against the meat.
Yeah.
Don't eat meat. But that's what I would do. I would do them on holidays, or find creative things. Like now we're getting all sorts of creativity come out. You see it in Meatless Mondays. You see it in even Vegetarian Month, or Vegetarian Day, or World Vegan Day, and World Vegan Month. And
Veganuary.
Yeah, Veganuary, and there's so many of them now. You could create any theme you want. You create your own theme. I haven't created really anything in Sarasota, as you could remember. I can't remember.
Still could be things to come, It just goes to show you, even though you've been doing this group successfully for a while, there's things that you are thinking of now that you haven't even tapped into yet. That, you may tap into soon. So the group can continue to evolve and grow.
There'll be a void. Once you finish something you want to do, you don't really relax and rest on it. You keep working on it and chiseling on it. And now I like where we're going now, because there's 6-7 organizers on the it's only on the Facebook page, because that's the most common. But they're doing their own thing. I don't tell them what to do. They're plant-based, treaty this, and another Veg Sarasota this, and the South Venice vegan that, and
But the fact that you embraced them and brought them in and let them be administrators and part of the Sarasota Vegan Society, even though you're the founder and everybody knows it, he's the grand poobah, as you would say.
Don't stroke my ego. Please don't stroke my ego.
I was just going to say, it's not about ego for you.
It isn't, no.
That you're letting other people have power and do things, and I think that's a very wonderful quality in a leader of a group like this, is to not get a big head about it and say, this is mine and I must control it. And
yeah.
so
I learned something
great.
from a very wise group called U2.
U2.
Get out of your own way. And that's, I learned
well,
actually...
we can't learn from Bono. I don't know. He's so wise.
I actually got the community building part and also the partnering idea from Transition, which is a global organization, but we used to have a Transition of Sarasota here. And I didn't get it, what partnering meant and community and all that. I really, I knew the concept, but I didn't really get the living, breathing part of it. And I said, well, that was like how I was when I was a kid, when we were knocking on people's doors and calling up people's phone numbers that we remembered on a ring, what's that called? Dial tone telephone?
Yeah.
And, we just call people up and, where's the kegger party at? Oh, it's at Joe's house. We go there.
I know we look super
like
young,
now.
But we're in our 50s, believe it or not.
Yes.
So this is what happens when you've been vegan for a while.
Yes, we're losing sun.
You continue your youth. All right, yes, our sun is setting here on Siesta Key Beach in Sarasota. And so we're going to go ahead and conclude this. Do you have any final words of wisdom that you would like to pass along before we sign off?
Oh man, I just thinking, if the only thing I would pass on would be the thing that, what would you tell your vegan self 5 years ago, Paul? Well, just relax, take your time, have patience, don't get worked up, just drop expecting anything completely. You're gonna be disappointed, trust me.
Expect to be disappointed and don't
I
let
think
it
it's
get
better
you
to
down.
anticipate, but don't even do that. I don't think just to even anticipate. You just be let down if you have any hope for anything. Just okay.
Let go of the outcome, maybe.
Yeah,
just do it from the heart, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, and if something happens the way you don't like it, then you can create a way where that won't again. I don't want to share any of that stuff right now because that's my secrets.
All right, well, in our next interview with Paul, we will be sharing all of his deep secrets.
No. I have to write them down because I can't remember them.
Make sure you come back for part 2.
We'll talk about something like making a Florida vegan state by 2030.
I know.
That's what I'm on to now. That's a whole other
goal.
Conversation. That's my next secret. It's not secret anymore.
Thank
you, B.
Thank you so much, Paul. And thank you very much for paying attention to our wonderful conversation for this whole 37 minutes. And if you liked what you heard, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure that you subscribe. And you can hit the notification button so you don't miss anything. We're showing off our vegan shirts.
Those are not.
Represent. All right. See you guys next time. Take care. Stay vegan.
Bye-bye.